We're here with Sebastian Doggart, the filmmaker of.
American Faust, from Condi to Neo-Condi.
And can you tell us a little bit about this film?
This film is a portrait of Condoleezza Rice and her pursuit of and use of power. So we start from when she was born right up to when she left office. So it's an attempt to paint a truthful portrait of a woman who's changed all our world.
And what compelled you to make this film?
In 2005, Rice was voted by Forbes magazine the most powerful woman in the world, and that seemed an amazing story to tell. Here was this woman, little girl who'd grown up in segregated Alabama, who came to achieve this amazing position. And I felt that she hadn't been properly portrayed in the media, so we investigated her and we've spoken to childhood friends, got a lot of interviews with her and with people who were in government with her, and we're trying to show a side of her that the media has never seen. The positive side, but also the very dark side, and some of the things that she did in office which are very questionable legally, morally, and politically.
And what kind of support have you gotten while you were making this film?
Well, the main support is the group of filmmakers who have contributed to this. Over 200 people have contributed to this project, whether it be visual effects artists, editors, researchers, the groups, the ACLU, Amnesty. So those people have made this happen. Right. It's been very hard to do it financially. We got some funding from Discovery, but Rice's cronies managed to get that funding withdrawn right before shooting. So it's been a labor of love from the people who have made this, all of whom believe in the need for truth and justice to be told through filmmaking.
Right, and how important was it to you to, finally get this film out?
Very important, very important. I've made a lot of films and TV shows. I've done things like Project Runway and Wife Swap and 30 Days. This is by far the most important story I have ever had to tell. This is a story where America is at stake. Right. The principles of the rule of law, of human rights, of torture, of lying, of going to war without just reason. These are a part of a story that hasn't been told yet. And we tell it through the story of one woman. But these are really important issues that I think need to be debated.
And how long did it take for you guys to come up with all the information and put it to film?
Well, from the start of the concept, it's been 4 years. This is actually the second of 2 films. The first film was called Courting Condi, and it's a musical docu-tragic comedy about one man's attempt to win her heart.
Right.
And it has Adrian Grenier in it, Jim Norton in it, and it's Devin Rattray, who was Buzz in Home Alone, who goes around the country talking to the people who knew her best to find out about this woman he loves, and he writes love songs to her, what he calls love discs. And along the way, he finds out some of these dark aspects. Now, that film has done very well. We've won 26 awards, but we found a lot of information out after we'd finished the film that we felt necessary to turn it into just a straight biographical documentary, and that's what this film is. It's much more hard-hitting. It's more like Taxi to the Dark Side than Mamma Mia.
Yeah. And how long did it take to get from post to final product over here, round to the film festivals?
Well, this is the world premiere. This is the very first screening, and we started editing American Faust about a year ago. We had to do a lot of fact-checking. We had over 250 hours of material to go through, and that's a lot of editing. So, and we then had test screenings, and we had to double-check that everything is factually correct. So it's been a year in the editing.
And how were the audience members' reactions to the film?
Well, we invited Republicans and we invited Democrats. We invited scholars as well as journalists. So we listened very carefully to the responses in the test screenings, and some of those we did integrate into the revised version that you'll see, people will see here at the festival. So it's been pretty positive. I think everyone is shocked at the revelations and at how poor the mainstream media have been in covering this particular individual. There are many reasons on both sides, on the left and the right, why journalists have not covered Rice. But this hopefully is an attempt to portray her accurately.
Have you had any really harsh negative responses, or how do you guys deal with that?
Actually, we had a Huffington Post article on the film, and a blog response called me a liar, a coward, and that I'd been perverted by Rice's opponents. Now, this gentleman then revealed himself at the bottom as the head of the Rice for President 2012 campaign. There's absolutely no way he could have seen the film because it hasn't even premiered yet. But I responded to some of the allegations, you know, in terms of lies. She was saying that this gentleman was saying that Rice could not have ordered the torture that she did. But between 2002 and 2005, she was chair of the group of principals that decided on the enhanced interrogation techniques, including waterboarding, electrocution, genital mutilation that were used in black sites across the world. These are crimes under US law. But she was directly responsible as the chair of the group of principals. And so she had that responsibility. It's there in governmental structure. So, you know, these are factually checked allegations.
And how excited are you about opening night?
I'm very excited to be here in Denver because Denver is where Rice received her political calling. She was going to be a musician, and then she went to a lecture on Stalin and got so excited by this lecture on Stalin that she decided to go into politics. So this is a major part of her life. We've got some of the members of the some of her teachers who are going to be here. Professor Alan Gilbert, who taught her history. One of her colleagues, her fellow students, is going to be at the screening. And you know, I'm just very we were treated very well by Denver when we came here. We shot at Invesco Field. Rice was engaged to a Denver Broncos running back for a while, and then she was faced with a decision about whether to marry him or not, or to take a call from President Carter's administration to come and work with President Carter. So does she choose power? Does she choose love? She decided to dump poor Rick Upchurch and go and work for Carter. She used to be a Democrat. Then she became a Republican. Then she became a Democrat again. Then she went back to Republican. And last time round, she allegedly voted for Obama. So you've got a pretty extraordinary yo-yo. But very excited to be here at Denver. The festival's treated us amazingly well. We've been invited down, and it's exciting to be here.
How much of your filming did you do in Colorado?
I'd say about a quarter of the filming. We shot in Alabama, where she was born, Denver, where she was at college at DU, then at Stanford, where she's now residing, and then Washington, D.C., where she spent her glory days.
And when is the film coming out on DVD?
The film was available on December the 9th through a pioneering new distribution platform at indiesdirect.com. And you can download it, you can stream it, you can buy it on DVD. And we're cutting out the middleman, so every time someone buys a copy of the film, the money goes to the filmmaker, not to the middleman.
Okay. All right, thank you so much for joining us here. Thank you for stopping by on our little abode. And